Hi, so this is actually take 3 of this video. My take 1, I had no microphone turned on. And then take 2, my little head bubble was right in front of the code that you might want to see. So this is take 3. I will try not to go too fast, but sometimes I'll just kind of run with it. Anyway. So I have some data. This is air quality index data. These data come from the Environmental Protection Agency, and the EPA has a whole bunch of pre-generated data files, so you can pick and choose whatever data you wanted. They've got different descriptions for what's going on, so they're all on the EPA's website. And I picked some 2024 air quality data. I remembered that I want to mess with it if I want to use that data, so I'm changing my mind. I'm going to go back to using Iowa soil data. So here's my Iowa soil temperatures. Hit go on that. Shows up over here. My Posit.Cloud is happy because I've got it over there and I've got it down there and I've got my preview. So I'm happy. Okay. Need to check out my format for my column names. And by that, I mean, I want to know that when I type in Iowa soil, if I type Iowa and wait, soil pops up, I can hit tab to get it to show up. And I need to pick a column. I've got the high temperature, low temperature, soil temperature, like all of these different things. I'm going to go with high temperature and skim it. And it says, are you sure you have that function? Okay, so when I don't have this function, that means I need to go back to packages, type in tidy, and make sure tidyverse is checked. Check. Okay, and now it's going to say, do you have skim? Do I have skim? Can't have skim. Come back over here. I had to reset our session earlier to clear out my memory, and so it forgot that I wanted these packages. Anyway, so skim now works, and my percent right arrow percent now works, and I can see my high temperatures ranged from negative 16 degrees Fahrenheit to a positive 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and my Iowa low temperatures ranged from negative 37 degrees Fahrenheit to a positive 81 degrees Fahrenheit. My last data set had a space in a column name, and spaces are not happy for this command. And so I had to rename it as something without a space. But I don't need that right now. So my columns are happy. We make a scatter plot. So my data, Iowa soil, I'm putting that into ggplot. And my x-axis is my low temperature, and my y-axis is my high temperature. I arbitrarily chose those. And G on point says make a scatter plot, and now it's over here. I see my scatter plot. If I click zoom, it makes it bigger, so I can see it makes like a little line. Those dots kind of mess with my eyes, so I'm going to close that window, but it's there. You can do fancier things to your scatter plots, give it labels, make the colors change, lots of things. Anyway, but it exists. And I can see it goes like up and to the right. All right, I need to build a linear model. My model is about soil. And so I'm building a soil model, and I know I'm building it because it's got that left arrow next to it. And it's going to be what I get when I take my Iowa soil data and I make a linear model. So when I hop over to help, type LM, and it says fitting linear models. You can read about them if you want to. And my y-axis was high. Oop, help if I spell that. And my x-axis is low. And if I hit run, then I should have my soil model up here. Okay, known x values. So when my x-axis, these are the values that I'm picking and choosing. My x-axis is called low. And the numbers I care about, let's go with -20, -10, maybe 12, just for silliness, and 35, and 40. Like, it really doesn't matter how many numbers you put in here. So those are my numbers I care about. And I hit run. And I verify that whatever I typed here shows up on my column name up here. So yes, that matches. Makes me happy. Okay. Now, Model R packages. Model. Make sure your Model R is checked. Download it if you don't have it. Make sure you've got it. I'm going to collect my inferred data. And so remember, I have a sample and I'm making a prediction about my population. That knowledgeable prediction based on the behavior of my sample is an inference about my population. And so my data are inferred. My inferred data become what I get when I take my known x values and I push them into my soil model via the add predictions command. And then the add predictions command will take my soil model and make one column low and then the next column pred. But I don't want it to say pred, I want it to say high. And so whatever you had for your y-axis, just look at my plot. Whatever you had for your y-axis is what you pick for what you type here. And then run. And now I've got my inferred data. And so it will tell me my low temperatures here. These are the inferred high temperatures that go with it. And then I say, that's all fine and dandy. What about seeing it on my line down there? And so these first few are going to be exactly the same as these. And so Iowa soil and ggplot, all that stuff, that's going to be this section here. So Iowa soil, low and high. My inferred data is where I'm going to add on top of my old one. And my x-axis is low and my y-axis is high. And my color is blue number 3 because I fancied blue 3. And when I hit play on that, I get this nice line. If you want to fancy a different one, there's a bajillion and one colors you can choose from. Right? There's just so many. Right? Pick a color, any color, and then figure out what its code is. And I can put it in there. So like if I wanted to have, oh goodness, what about this one, dark turquoise? Instead of blue 3, dark turquoise. Good, I spelled it correctly because it came up. And now my little dots are dark turquoise. Wonder if they have just regular turquoise. They do. It looks very similar. My eyes can't tell the difference between dark turquoise and turquoise. I'm sure they're there. Anyway, that's it. I have made numerical inferences about my data based on the data I know and how it's behaving, and it makes me happy to see that it is showing up on the line that I imagined in my head. All right, if you have any questions, go ahead and send them my way.